Moneyball time. Welcome, everyone. I am here with a Buffalo legend, although he's played for a couple other teams. I have Mr. Danny Gare here with me today. Welcome to Moneyball.
Thanks, Donovan. Great to be on your show. I've seen a few of your episodes and enjoyed the Rob Ray show, and yeah, I'm happy to be here.
That's remarkable to hear. That's very flattering to me. Someone with your resume, even more flattering. You know what, man? I would have loved to have been in the locker room in the 70s. I'm going to go at it right there, man. Tell me about the chemistry and just how it was back then. Now, not even like opposed to today, because, these guys have their own thing going today. But tell me what it was like, man, in a locker room in the 70s with some of those guys.
No, it was great. It was great. The players back then, it's a lot different, obviously, than the game today. I think, all the dollars and cents is a big deal. I think it's a bigger, faster, stronger game now, more skilled maybe a little bit at times. But, I mean, they're all businessmen. They're all multimillionaires. I mean, we didn't have those guys in our rooms. We had players that loved the game, played for the game, loved it. And we made okay money. It was fine. But the interactions between each guy, because you didn't know, most guys that had an opportunity to play for a team that was up and coming, especially the Sabres. And when I came in here 50 years ago, wow.
That sounds crazy, doesn't it?
Do you know, I'll say this and I'll tell you this. I mean, the locker room was great. Everybody the guys were all, really camaraderie-wise. Off the ice, they were great. But 50 years ago today, Don. Today, I scored my very first goal in the NHL.
Holy cow, man. I'll tell you what, that's pretty cool that I have you on the show today and you scored your first goal 50 years ago to the day.
50 years ago today, October 10th, 1974. I came to training camp in St. Catharines, Ontario, with 100 guys. Went through that, got to the main camp in Buffalo with 27 guys. Pretty much got lucky or whatever, made the team for opening night. I sat in the dressing room next to Luce and Ramsey. They were my line mates.
Awesome.
I'll never forget the first speech around Floyd Smith, who was my coach.
Oh, I got to hear this.
Yeah, this was something that I've been waiting for what? I was 19, 20 then.
Sure.
20 years. I'm worked out all my life under my dad's mentorship and played minor hockey in British Columbia, Canada. Went to junior, played 3 years at Calgary at Centennials. Did very well, whatever. I get to this camp, make the team. 5 minutes before the game starts against the big bad Boston Bruins, who went to the Stanley Cup Finals the year before. And I'm like just 10 nervous pisses. My legs are shaking. I'm like, this is it, man. This is it. This is what I've been waiting for. Floyd comes walking in the room with a cigarette in his mouth, smoking like that. It's back to it, And Floyd was a good guy. But he goes like this. Looks around the room. Well, guys, gotta play it. Might as well win it. And walks out the door.
That was it. That was.
I went to Craig Ramsey. I said, "Are you serious? That's right there."
That's all he said.
I waited 20 years for this.
Oh my God. How does that even like and the cigarette hanging out of the mouth? Let me ask you.
Well, that's what back then it was different, but I'm just saying it was like so anyways, everybody just gets up out of their lockers, stalls, and they head out the ice. And I didn't know who to follow or what to do.
Right.
I just kind of followed Bill Haidt out. He was kind of one of the later guys, and I ended up going, and we line up for the national anthem on the ice, and we're checking. Luce and Ramsey and I were a checking line, and I'm standing against Wayne Cashman, Phil Esposito, Kenny Hodge. On defense was Bobby Orr, Don Ari, and the goalie, I believe, was Jerry Cheevers. So, and I'm like standing there during, right before, and I was almost, geez, I wish I could get these guys autographs.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's intimidating as hell.
It was. I mean, it was, but like I said, I had some pretty good years in junior, and I felt comfortable about just trying to play in the league or whatever, hoping I could. Yeah. So the puck drops, it comes back to Jim Schoenfeld, who goes around the boards. comes back into the Boston end, and I think the shot was from the point. Craig Ramsey took a shot and whiffed on it, kind of fanned on it.
Yeah.
And I got the rebound, scored in 18 seconds. It was amazing. It was like, what the hell? The crowd goes nuts.
Is this 18 seconds into the first game ever?
Fastest goal by a modern day rookie ever in the National Hockey League. Yes.
Holy tamale. I didn't even know that. I read something about it, but I didn't know that was...
happened to be my number 18. So Craig Grammer gets the puck out of the net and he goes, congrats, that's awesome, you know. And Bobby Orr broke his stick right over the net. He was so pissed. We beat him 9-5 that night.
Wow.
That game was Don Cherry's inaugural game as head coach. I went on his show, Grapevine. He said, this little bugger from Nelson, BC ruined my inaugural year, or my inaugural game, I should say. But no, we won, and it was a great game. And when he got the puck out, he hands it to me, Craig Ramsey, and he says, you know, here, take this to, you know, we went to the bench. I gave it to Rip Simone.
Sure.
And one of the things when I took it and gave it to me, I said, well, maybe I belong here.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know. Yeah. You don't know whether you belong in the NHL until something like that happens, which happened pretty quick. And it made a statement when we went on that year to win 113 points, win the Adams Conference, and then go to the finals. So it was a great year. It really was.
I love your humility, though, because, you know, you're basically saying, you know, you're out there 18 seconds in. Basically, it's luck, right? Rammer fires from the port.
Pretty much.
You know, you get the rebound, and that puts you on the map, though. I mean, there's Danny Gare, right? It puts you on the map, and teams are now looking for you. And who's this guy? And that's a phenomenal story. And I'm totally privileged to hear that, man. And it really
it was today.
Makes the hair on my arm stand up.
I'm going to the Sabre game tonight, and it's kind of ironic. It'll be 50 years ago. Yeah. So hopefully the Sabres will pull one out for it. We'll get an early goal. But Craig Ramsey and Don Luce were two of the best. I couldn't ask for better guys to break into the NHL with. They were solid individuals, family people, but more than that, they were just, you know, like big brothers to me. They were a little older, but we just got along. We sat next to each other in the dressing room. You know, we hung out, maybe not as much off the ice.
Right. Well, you were the young guy. You were the new guy.
I was young, going out to clubs and, you know, hanging out with girls and my teammates, my rookies and whatever. They were great because they were great communicators. They had the great hockey IQ. They understood the game very well. And I remember after scoring that goal, we won, you know, the first game. We won like 2 or 3 games in a row, and our line was strong. We scored goals. And Rammer and Lucy, like the year before I came in junior, I broke a record for most goals in the league for 68 as a right winger, and penalty minutes, 238 in junior.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to next. I mean, you fought. The guys I've talked to said, I mean, you're scrappy play, man, and you won more fights than you lost. And listen, you weren't the biggest guy, but I always envied that about your game. You wouldn't back down to anybody, man. And you know, fighting was so much different back then, and they wouldn't be afraid to drop the gloves, but you were dominant, man. You I don't know how you did it, but I've seen you work some people over where I thought you had no chance.
Yeah, no, I was brought up. My dad played back in British Columbia. My dad was the athletic director of the university.
Okay.
You know. He was my mentor, and he taught me at a young age. He said, we won a provincial championship there in British Columbia as bantams. I'll be about 12, 13, 14 years old. So I used to go up to the university and work out. They had a big gymnasium and gym and all that. And I used to work out, you know, but I didn't after I won this, you know, because I was in grade 8, and we kind of enjoyed our moment in the sun. And
Sure.
And I finally went up about 3 weeks later to the workout because it was in May, you know, it wasn't like it was during hockey season or anything. So, but the off season, he really preached to me about working out and getting stronger.
Yeah.
So I'm on the bench press, and he always worked out with me, my dad. Yeah. What do you want to do, son? And I said, excuse me, Dad, what are you talking about? You know, what do you want to do?
You were shocked that you had a choice, right?
I didn't even know I had one. I said, well, I want to play in the National Hockey League. I want to play in the NHL. So he says, okay, come on upstairs. His offices were up on a concourse up above the gym that looked over, looked over. We go back to his office, and I tell his story to kids. I've told it 1,000 times on. about, goal setting. He said, son, you're small. There's three things you have to do to get, and that help you get to if you want to play in it. He said, one is you have to continue to shoot pucks. I shot 300-400 pucks a day underneath our sun deck at home.
Okay.
The other thing I did was, he said, you come up, work out 3 times a week on upper body strength, lower body strength. And the third thing he said is you have to learn how to box.
Okay.
So they had speed bags, heavy bags there in the
You
gym.
don't even understand how much I love this story. Like you don't even understand because you'd never hear that again. So finish it. I love it. So I want to hear this.
This is my life story and how I was meant. So what I did, I said, okay, Dad. Yeah, I said, yeah. And he sat across from his desk, and I was on the other side. He was a man of few words. He never spoke a lot, but he spoke. When he spoke, you listened.
When he spoke, you listened, right?
Yeah, exactly. So he had this map of Canada behind his desk, and he grabs this little yellow pin. Okay, he had a bunch of those pins you stick on walls,
Yep.
He said, but let me tell you something. He says there's a kid in every friggin' town
100%
wants to do the same damn thing you want to do. So this is what we're going to do. He says, every time you come up and work out, every time you shoot your 300-400 pucks, every time you come up and hit the speed bag, we're going to put a pin on a town. We're going to put a pin on a town. So I was 14 years old when I was drafted by the Sabres at 1974. I was 19. That map, British Columbia, all the way to Nova Scotia, was full of red, green, yellow, blue pins, thousands of them.
I love it.
That was my goal. That was my goal, to put a pin, to beat a kid out every day, And it was fun. It was easy. It was the best goal setting that I've ever had. I talked to children in classes about it. I used to talk to my hockey school kids about it when I had taught hockey school. So, yeah, he was my guy. He was my mentor. Unfortunately, he died of ALS at a young age of 52. But yeah, he got to see me in Buffalo play. He got to see me play in the All-Star game.
I was just going to ask how much of your career you got to see, and what a rewarding.
He did. I was 28 when I left the LA All-Star game, and he died of ALS.
So he got to see some good years. I mean, he got to.
Did.
See, yeah.
He
saw a lot of goals, a lot of fights.
Missed him a lot, but but he used to call me and talk to me about fighting, and I'll tell you this story. He'd say, Danny, now listen. He says, you're doing good. You had a good start. He says, Daddy, you got to talk to Gilbert Perreault. I said, about what, Dad? What do you want me to talk to Gilbert Perreault about? He's going to help you with your deking ability, the way he moves back and forth to left. I said, Dad, that's Gil Perreault. I said, I'm not Gil Perreault. There's only one that can do that. He said, see if you could ask him, because I just shot the puck. I wasn't, I skated hard down the winger.
Sure.
They got me a puck, but so I got him up there. I said, Dad, I just want his autograph. I kind of said to him again. So I get enough nerve. I think it was, and he kept bugging me about this. He kept bugging me. Anyways, I finally, because my dad, he kept bugging. I said, okay, I'll ask Gilbert.
Yeah.
So after practice at the old odd, I said, hey, Gilbert, you got a minute? I go, yeah, Danny, what's wrong? Him in his eloquent French accent. What's up, Danny? I said, Gilbert, my dad keeps bugging me. And I said, I know, you're the only one that can do these. I go like this, but he said, can you help me with my deking ability or anything? You got any tips or anything like this? And he goes to me like this, Danny, I don't know how I do them. I just do them.
It's a terrible accent, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I said, well, Gilbert, he skates off the ice. I said, well, just keep on doing them, Gilbert. No problem. I tell my dad that.
Yeah. I mean, you worked up enough balls to even ask him, right?
Well, that's what it was. It took me 3 months to do that. And he goes, Daddy, how I do them? I just do them. And I said,
It took me 3 months to ask him, he said.
It did. Yeah.
Man, these stories are phenomenal. I want to ask you a couple things real quick.
Go ahead.
Do you have one good Bobby Orr story? Bobby Orr, is always considered the legend of defense and just such a polarizing figure. Do you have any good Bobby Orr stories?
Well, I have a couple, but one I can't tell because it was at the bar at Fours when we went out after I scored my 30th goal. We went out and had fun that night. But Bobby, amazing player. Where we really kind of hooked up was at the 76 Canada Cup when I played. I was the youngest player on the team.
Yeah.
And Canada Cup was a series of games because we couldn't play in the Olympics then. So
Yep.
they put together teams like Russia, Czechoslovakia, and the United States, Canada, Sweden. And he was the most valuable player. He was on one leg that year. I couldn't believe it. Like
That's
he
what I
had
mean.
50.
The guy was just
He had,
unbelievable.
and he wasn't a big guy, Donovan, either. He was
No.
small. I mean, and the way he skated him.
Were you bigger than him, Danny?
We're about the same size, I think.
Were you really?
Maybe he was a little taller but skinnier. Like my upper body might have been a little stronger, but his legs and the way he can skate, like Phil Esposito, I play with him. He lives around the corner from me in Tampa, and we play quite a bit. He loves, him and Bobby were like this together. Right. They were unbelievable. He says, you know what, Danny? He says Bobby never skated backwards. I said, and when you watch his films and highlights and that, he'd skate up the ice forward, and then he'd turn around and skate back to his own end forward.
Is that true?
He never hardly skated backwards. Backwards. He was so good forward. He could catch up to people. Yeah. But anyways, what I was going to say to you, we're in 76, and we're going to Ottawa on a game, and we've got the plane prop job. We're heading out from Montreal because that's where our training was. We were there for 6 weeks, so we got to see Bobby. I mean, this team on 76, there was, I'll bet you, 18 Hall of Famers. Lafleur, you name it, Potvin. I mean, I can go on.
That is so amazing. That is so amazing.
And I was the youngest player on the team. So I'm coming on the plane.
And you just were in awe, right? You're just looking at
I was the same way it was when I was my first game again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'd played 2 years. I'd had 31 goals. My first year, we go to the finals. Second year, I had 50 goals. Awesome. And we went to the semifinals. So I get picked, but like I said, I was only 21 then. So I worked out real hard, made the team. And he sits there. He's at the front of the plane. I get on. He goes, Gary, come here, sit down. And I said, I said, Bobby. He said, Danny, come on, sit down here. I want to talk to you. So I sit down. And he says, "So listen, you need anything here in Montreal? Like, we've just been there, what, a week maybe?
Right.
And I'm like, Bobby, I'm fine. Everything's good. No, you need any suits? I got a suit guy here. We can get you a suit. He says, you need a car? I can get you a car. If you need a car guy, I got a car guy.
He had them all lined up.
He knew people. He was Bobby Orr.
Yeah. He had all these connections. Yeah.
I said I was flabbergasted. I just said, Bobby, no, I'm good. I said, and he went on to win the most valuable player in that tournament. And,
well, he took a liking to you right away.
He did, and I don't know where it was after because of that first goal when he smashed.
It might have been. I was going to go back to that,
But he's such a special guy. I have tournaments. He sends me stuff to like charity golf tournaments. I got, if I needed a picture for someone in the hospital or something from him, he'll send it out FedEx it the next day.
Really
amazing, man.
A lot of the times I lead the conversation, right? And I lead the witness, like in a courtroom with you. Yeah. I have way too much respect for somebody like you. Like, I just love sitting and listening to stories.
And Donovan, there's only one thing. I got 50 years of friggin' stories. Okay,
man, I would have
we could do this for hours.
Listen, I would make the time.
I'll tell you a quick story. One of the things, and this is when we were like I was saying that, we had a great start my first year. I mean, like I said, we had a hell of a year. We had 630 goal scorers. That's a record.
It's unbelievable. Yeah,
on that team.
That was the year of the finals, or was the finals that year, or 75?
Finals that year, we lost to 6 in Bernie Perrant against Philadelphia.
Yeah. I thought it was 75, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Very first year. So I thought, shit, this is happening every year. This is awesome.
Yeah. It's
never got there again. No, never got there. But anyway, so Rammer and Lucy and I, like I said before, we really bonded real well. We read and reacted very well on the ice. We were like, I mean, the connection was a connection. They were a great team, but we were a checking line. So we stopped all the top lines. Yep. We checked the top, like Lafleur's line, Dion's line, Sittler's line. I mean, all these guys. And the one thing that I started to see with them was that, mostly like I did when I played a little bit in junior, I was a goal scorer. I scored lots of goals. I wasn't a check. I could check, but I was a goal scorer. So I said, well, we leave the zone a lot. We try to get that extra flow out of the zone, a long pass. So this is even worse in the National Hockey League. These guys were flying in the zone, and the defenseman would throw that long stretch pass. And so I said, look, what we need to do is when they leave the zone, Shoney and Billy Height were our defense partners, and let's stay in and pinch. Rammer, you guys, if you're going in to check the defenseman, 2 versus 1 the defenseman, I'll stay up high on the slot. And I did it on my side. I'd check, if I, depending where the puck was. But if it was on the left side, they went in, turned the puck over, and gave it to me. I'd fucking score in 2 seconds. It was like nuts. I had 50 goals on a freaking checking line.
I can't believe that. You would never see that again. First of all, you don't see 50 scores on those
6 power play goals. I never played the power play, but what we did though, Donovan, is what our whole mindset was that type of process. When we checked, we'd go in and hover and read and react on the defenseman, flip the puck over. Yep. The defensemen would stay in and pinch. Their guys were out of the zone anyways, so it was like 3 or 4 versus 2 hockey. And we'd get the puck and then score goals. And Rammer had 20. The year before, he had 7. Okay? I can't. The year before I came, he had 7. Don Moose had 9, I think. Lucy had 31, I had 31, and Rammer had 27. So, it worked, is what I'm saying.
Which in today's world, if we fast forward to today's NHL, that would be the top line in the NHL. 100%. If you had 3 30-goal scorers on a line, that would be the top line in the NHL. And I love hearing this because I have an 11-year-old that plays travel hockey.
Okay.
His name is Deacon, and he's really coming to his own. He's playing center. He had a hat trick the other day, and he's just really playing well. And I love hearing this because it's, not everything is. I feel like sometimes coaches get so caught up in what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? And there's other ways to skin a cat. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do what you just said and be successful.
Well, I think a lot of it is that what we got to, you don't see it today, is the fact that we stayed together so long.
Yeah.
We were together.
Like you said, it's all about money now.
7, 8 years. Well, it's free agency. They can leave and pick the teams they want to go to if they do get traded. But we stayed together as a team and as a unit, and it was amazing. I mean, we were a good team, and we had great lines. We just didn't have quite the goaltending that Philly had. So
yeah, no, that's amazing. Let me ask you this last question. I'll ask you. I'll let you get going. Who would you say is the best player, if you can say, that you've ever played against? Would it be Bobby Orr?
Oh, I played against Gordie Howe too.
You played against some legends. I mean,
I played against Gordie Howe. I sat next to him in my first All-Star game in Detroit. Gordie Howe.
Awesome.
It was his 26th.
Is that true? Wow.
I believe so. But
what year was that, Danny?
That would have been 1981.
Yeah.
79, 80. Yeah, it was in that era. But I know Bobby Orr. I mean, yes, definitely Gordie Howe. I mean, Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier, older, in the newer years. I didn't get to play.
I think it's so cool right now, and I can't wait to tell my son when he watches this that I'm going to say, listen, this guy here, this Danny Gare, okay, he played against Wayne Gretzky. Everybody.
I lived with him.
You what?
I lived with him after Wayne and I were 18, and and then he went to Edmonton, played obviously there, and then I went to Edmonton after I left Detroit my last year, trying to win a cup because they lost the year before Edmonton, and I called up Glenn Sather and I said, I'd like to have an opportunity to come and play, and went there, lived with Wayne, made the team, and they won the cup in '87, their 3rd cup. So
how was it? I mean, did you ever think he was going to be that good? Did you know?
He was that good. He was that good at that shit. He had 300 something goals when he was 9.
He was a Martian.
He was amazing player. But different times, different relative decades. When you go to Howe, you go to Orr, you go to Gretzky, Lemieux maybe, or Messier. I don't know. It was, and now you got Crosby's and McDavid's and so forth. I think every era. I mean, but all time, probably, I don't know. It's hard to say because Bobby was just such a different player in getting the game of changing the game, and Wayne did too.
Right. Yeah, I think Bobby, being a defenseman, right, and I think that's what kind of separates him.
Probably. But the numbers that Wayne put up are incredible. I mean. 2,000 points? Are you serious?
I mean, the 1 year, what do you have? 200 assists the 1 year or something?
Yeah, how many Art Rosses and 50, 60, 70 goal seasons like this? Nuts. 90. He had a 90 goal season, didn't he?
Yeah,
I
he
think
did.
he,
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes. Well, this was
but
an absolute pleasure, Danny. I
yeah.
cannot thank you enough, honestly, for taking some time with me. It means a lot to me. And like I said, salt of the earth guy. Hopefully we can keep in touch a little bit. But
Hey,
uh,
Donovan, before I go, I'm a founder of a company called Can Ice. Okay,
yes.
and
From Can Ice, the world's leader in synthetic ice technology. Congratulations, you are one step closer to the same ultimate off-ice experience the pros use. But exactly what's the difference between these amazing products and which one is perfect for you? Well, we're here to help. So let's jump right in.
trust me, I can skate 365 days a year. I can do it in my basement. I do all my skill levels, passing, shooting, you name it. Whatever you need to do, you can do on Can Ice. We've got over 20 NHL players who use it for training. Crosby, Pavelski, Vasilevsky, Kucherov. They all use our product in the off season to help their shot, to help their, all about glide. It's all
Yeah.
about glide.
Okay. No, listen, I very thank you for letting me
Yeah.
know about that. That's right. And if you were to give my son any advice right now, your dad gave you those three things. You don't really need the boxing as much as you used to, but
No, you don't. Not at
would,
all.
would you say go out and shoot 300 pucks a day still?
Every day.
Yeah, every day, right?
Every day.
Yep. No
Every
reason
day.
not to. He's 11 years old. Get out there and shoot.
Why do you think I scored 50 and led the league once to 56? Because I even did it when I played. I shot 50 with Rick Martin on the ice, 100 pucks every day before practice, 200 pucks, 300 pucks after
Love it,
practice.
man. Hard work and
You got to do that. It's part of the skill level, and that's how you beat these goalies now. I mean, even if you didn't beat them now, it was in the past. You always had to have an edge, and that was my shot. So, yeah.
This awesome, man. This was an absolute pleasure. Like I said, thanks for taking the time. We'll keep in touch. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Take care. Love it.
Thanks, Danny. Take care. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Take care.